Magandang umaga po mga kaibigan. Let me greet you Merry Christmas. I'm sure at this point in time, marami tayong mga kababayan na nagbabalak makauwi sa kanilang mga lugar sapagkat alam naman natin ang tradisyon ng mga Pilipino na pagsapit ng Pasko, magkakasama kahit na anong hirap ng buhay. Kahit pa tinapay at keso lamang ang pang Noche Buena, ang mahalaga ay magkakasama. Pero ngayon pong merong pandemya, at mayroong ganitong hamon sa atin, ano ang inaasahan natin? Kaya doon po sa ating mga kaibigan, ang pinakapaksa natin ngayon ay babiyahe ka ba? Kung babiyahe ka, anong sasakyan mo? Yan. Mahalagang pag-usapan ito sapagkat kung ikaw ay pauwi sa inyong lugar, mamimili ka, eroplano, barko, o kung ano man. So we'd like to find out anong pwedeng mangyari ngayon. Okay? So, panauhin po natin si Ginoong Junji Kimbo. Siya po yung Chief Communication Officer mula sa Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, of which North Luzon Expressway Corporation is a part of. Okay? Kasama rin natin si Engineer Bert Swansing mula sa Toll Regulatory Board, although we're also expecting Mr. Julius Corpus to join us. Mr. Alex Yage, Executive Director of the Provincial Bus Operators Association of the Philippines, will also be joining us. And Attorney Terry Ridon, former party list representative of Kabataan Party List. I'm happy that he's now the convener of InfraWatch, who will also join us today. Siguro, let's start the ball rolling. Bert, can you tell us how is it today? May trabaho po ba kayo?
Meron pa naman. Meron. In fact, pagka mga ganitong season, almost gising kami magdamag, no? Like for example, sa tollways, of course, binabantayan mo dyan, dapat traffic management, maayos yung flow ng sasakyan bago dumating sa toll plaza or within the toll facility and outside the toll plaza.
Okay. So, okay pa kayo. Nabanggit kasi ni Presidente, magkakaroon ng balasahan at baka may isang retired military officer na mapunta sa TRB.
Nabanggit nga ng Pangulo. Pero as far as, well, ako naman personal, as far as I'm concerned, hindi naman ako organic sa Toll Regulatory Board. I am actually, doon ako galing sa Toll Regulatory Board as their consultant on traffic management and safety. Tapos lumipat ako sa DOTR. Minsan-minsan, kino-cover ko rin yung what you call this, yung TRB.
Okay. All right. Sa ano kaya? Junji, sa inyo, sa Tollways, how are you today? How are things going?
Thanks for that, Melo. Good morning. Sa Tollways, things are very much improved. We had challenges the past almost 2 weeks since December 1, but the adjustments that we have made on the ground, especially for RFID processing, they're much improved today. And Pasko ngayon, so alam naman natin yung surge ito. The surge is going to start soon. Makikita naman po natin. Taon-taon naman talaga naghahanda tayo. So this is one of the special times of the year na we are on full alert. So sa ngayon, the cars are fast moving. The toll lanes are good. The lines are not too long. Obviously, may cash lanes tayo. But that's only natural dahil syempre we had to accommodate naman yung mga motorista natin who were not able to get the RFID sticker quickly. So relatively we're good. We're moving forward. We're progressing.
Good. Nice to hear about it. All right. Alex, gusto ko magbiyahe. Ano sasakyan ko? Meron ba?
Actually, Melo, good morning. Actually, merong mga 50 routes na nabuksan na papunta ng probinsya at galing ng probinsya papasok ng Maynila. But yung very limited ang mga biyahe rito dahil maraming region na like Region 1, Cordillera Region, kasama na yung Baguio, buong probinsya ng Pangasinan, Tarlac, Zambales, Bataan, Aurora, at buong region ng Region 5 at saka buong probinsya ng Quezon. Hanggang ngayon, wala pang biyahe.
Wala pang biyahe. Ano sinasakyan ng mga taong pauwi?
Ang option nila dyan ay sumakay ng mga kolorom na mga van. Meron ding mga SUV na ginagawa na rin parang Grab o parang uupahan mo, charter mo ng private car o private SUV para makauwi lamang sa probinsya.
Okay. All right. Terry, ano po ang pananaw dito ng InfraWatch sa nangyayari ngayon? Do we have enough infra in the first place?
Well, una sa lahat siguro magandang banggitin ko na yung pinagtapusan po kahapon. All's well that ends well, ano? So, in-accommodate na, and formally in-accommodate na po ni Secretary Tugade yung pong panawagan para sa, I think we can say that it's a relaxation of the contactless tolling order. Kasi sinabi naman niya ho na una, wala pong hulihan. Pangalawa, full implementation of cashless tolling will be implemented by the middle of the year, ano? In order to permit interoperability and for all of the toll operators to overcome yung pong technical glitches na binabanggit po. Ibig sabihin, I think what is most important here is for all of the parties to have a consensus and to work together at hindi ho tayo magsisihan dito po sa buong usupin po na ito. And I think we had reached that point already yesterday. Ano? So we are thankful to Secretary Tugade for accommodating the requests of all the parties, of the Senate, of the public, of the toll operators, to work together and resolve the matter up until the middle of next year. No? So, in terms of infra, talagang kulang pa rin ho yan. Siyempre, marami pa rin ho tayong pwedeng magawa within the term of the President. So, dapat pagtulungan pa rin po natin ito in the next remaining year and a half of the President's term.
Yeah. Okay. Narinig niyo ba kung ano yung pahayag ni Mayor Gatchalian ng Valenzuela? We also invited him, kaya lang we never heard of any feedback from him and from his office. The same with LTFRB. What have you heard, Terry?
Well, I think very adamant pa rin ho si Mayor Gatchalian doon sa kanya pong ilang mga pagtingin sa ilang mga usapin, ano? Pero ang I think the general climate of yesterday was basically to work together and to resolve all the glitches together, ano? And I think that is what is most important that has come out of the hearing yesterday. And yun na nga ho, I think si Secretary naman na ho mismo yung nagsabi. Yesterday there was a call, a few weeks ago there was a call for him to take leadership. Yesterday he has taken leadership on the matter. And mahirap naman ho na talagang ipilit pa ho natin na magsisihan kung the highest transport official of the land has already come across the table and spoken to everybody na sige na ho, pagtulungan na, especially since it was the President himself 2 nights ago that has mentioned already that he is one with the public in the concerns on the contactless tolling system. And I think nakita din naman ho yesterday talaga na we cannot just, and the President himself said it, we cannot just blame the toll operators on the matter. This is something that all of us have some responsibility on the matter, the public, the toll operators, and of course, more importantly, the regulators, no? Nabanggit na ho yan eh. So, I don't think there is any more point para talagang to pin the blame on any single entity on this matter. Ano? So I think yung working together has been the general theme, should be the general theme moving forward.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. You made mention of the fact that the good secretary talagang nilabas niya yung kanyang pananaw and he came across. No? The term is across the table. That's very nice because some people always think yung under the table ang problema eh. Pero mabuti to, across the table. Pero balikan ko yung tollways. Ano ba nangyari? Bakit hindi natin maayos ng mas madali bago natin na ipatupad sana yung gusto ninyo? Yes, please. John G.
Yeah, thank you, Melo. No, as you know, we started the 100% contactless, cashless program nung December 1. We are all coming from the Department Order 2020-12, which was issued in August. Obviously, a big challenge was how to make the toll systems compliant. No, so we explained yesterday that notwithstanding the short target, it's obviously not an ideal situation to rush the installation, delivery, and account management of 1.6 million vehicles in such a short period. But we also took into account that it was both necessary and important. Well, important because we have a pandemic, and since the call was for a health campaign, avoid COVID-19, then obviously it's an important strategy. It's also necessary because we think and we agree that ramping up the RFID system will obviously make the travel at the expressways more convenient and faster. We obviously had a very big challenge in our hands. Notwithstanding that, we were able to accomplish the goals of the distribution. When we started Melo in July, late July, the ratio of cash versus RFID was only about 30% RFID versus 70% cash. But by the time we ended November, we were already up to 77%. In other words, when we started in December 1, you could see that our customers were actually migrating to the RFID system. Obviously, the system itself got inundated, and it's all in social media. We of course understood and heard the complaints of the customers about how difficult it was to just cross the toll gates.
Yeah.
Not to belittle that experience, but the lesson also told us that major operational changes were necessary. For example, in the run up to the last few days of the campaign, especially in December 1, people had to scramble and get their RFID stickers anywhere they could. It was like panic buying.
Yeah.
And one situation was that we had to accommodate requests for stickers at the toll gates. So that's we have to install stickers at the toll gates themselves. Number two, we of course know that the customers had some familiarity with the RFID system, how to load it, how to keep the load alive, how to keep it valid. Then obviously reloading was also the preferred choice, especially for those who are regularly traveling. So it was akin to a cash transaction, basically, that we were trying to deal with because the customers wanted to have their loads in the toll gate. So you have three kinds of motorists and customers at the toll gates with three different purposes. One, he just wants to get across. Another one wants to have a sticker installed at the toll gate. Number three, another one wants to have his account reloaded at the toll gate in a cramped and narrow area like Valenzuela, like Mindanao Toll Plaza, like Karuhatan. Then obviously that's a formula that's going to cause traffic congestion. And obviously the system also got swamped, and we have already publicly said that it wasn't a good idea, and we have said that we understood the plight of the motorists, and we have apologized for that. Notwithstanding the situation, things are much better today. We see lesser queues, less longer queues, and they're confined to the cash lanes. Accommodating cash lanes was also an important strategy. From the beginning, we had an idea that the cash payers, these are people who basically don't travel every day. These are people who don't have deliveries to meet every day. then we have to accommodate them. And of course, we have to set up cash lanes immediately. I think those changes, at least on the ground, has improved the situation since then.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Junji. Ano ang problema natin? I was in Kuala Lumpur in 2002. Mula sa airport patungo sa Philippine Embassy, 3 tollways ang dinaanan namin pero very smooth. Of course, maganda yung highway. 3 tollways pero walang cash, basta ID lang. Sa Singapore, kung gusto mong dumaan sa Orchard during peak hours, ganun din yung taxi mo, may RFID, dadagdagan mo na lang para makadaan ka. Anong problema natin? Ang gagaling natin sa IT, pero hindi natin napagsama yung North and South into one ID. Ano kaya?
The question, thanks for that question. The matter of interoperability na tinatawag actually calls for the compatibility naman ng systems, no? You basically not only have to have compatibility of the hardware, the software, but also the accounting, the account management, the loading and reloading, so that it's really so that the customer doesn't really know doesn't have to know where he is. It's just a matter of getting his bill or getting his account loaded from time to time. We are obviously on the way to that. We have an interoperability agreement with San Miguel, which was executed in 2017 with precisely that idea. The interoperability concept is not new, as you've already experienced all over the world. It presupposes, number one, everybody has an RFID.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, the RFID system is the linchpin by which we can have interoperable systems. That's really the most efficient way. So when we started this journey towards cashless, we adopted, at least for the Metro Pacific Tollways, we have adopted the policy that everybody go on RFID system first. That's the first stage. It's a phase one, really. It's a phased implementation. The second stage is for our systems to be interoperable, meaning the RFID system for the MPTC will be compatible with the other toll operators. The third one is obviously to remove completely the toll plazas and the toll barriers and the toll gates. That's our future. That's really our roadmap towards achieving that in the future. From our point of view, we are in the first stage. Let's go 100% cashless, go 100% contactless, let everybody have an RFID. Then the compatibility and the testing and the technical solutions, they're ongoing anyway. So we think it's a progressive and it's a good strategy moving forward.
Good. It's very reassuring. Bert, mula sa TRB, coming from, nasa DOTR, meron ba kayong nakitang timetable na pwedeng pagkasunduan ng mga operators ng tollways natin para isa na lang yung singilan?
Okay. You're talking of the interoperability. Mahaba yung istorya na yan, Melo. No? Actually, if you remember, during the time when si Senator Drilon was the Senate President, it was sometime in if I remember it right, sometime in 2014, got involved in a horrendous, he described it like that, horrendous traffic situation at Tarlac. He was on his way to Baguio. So as you know, there are 2 tollways na dadaanan mo papuntang Baguio. The one operated by MPIC and the other one operated by San Miguel. This is Tiplex. So iba-iba yan. Meron kanya-kanya sarili silang tool ng bayaran. Ano? So pagmula nun, patawag siya ng meeting and then convene the meeting. Magkaharap yung dalawang toll operators and practically ordered the toll operators to start operating on interoperable na, maging interoperable.
Yeah.
So si Ed Reyes, who was the executive director at that time, obliged, sinimulan yung trabaho of which nung pumasok itong Duterte administration, tinuloy naman itong current executive director. Dalawang phase yan. Ano? Yung phase 1 may sub-phase yun. Phase 1A, phase 1B. What is phase 1A? Yung phase 1A, yung system ni AutoSweep, which is San Miguel, yung RFID niya, mababasa ng system ng Metro Pacific. No? Pero dalawang wallet ang tawag doon. Meaning you need to have two accounts. One for AutoSweep, the other one is for EasyTrip. Now, pupunta tayo ngayon sa phase 1B, which is baliktad naman, ano? Yung RFID ni Metro Pacific mababasa ng sistema ng San Miguel Corporation. We're going towards that. That's phase 1. Ganun yun to one RFID, two wallets. We call that one RFID, two wallet system. Of course, we will have to move further. No? That's the phase 2. That's one RFID and one wallet. Kasi ngayon, may kalituhan yung mga motorista natin. Kasi dalawang wallet yan. So maglo-load siya sa AutoSweep, pala papasok siya sa NLEX. So wala siyang load. No? So para maalis yan, para maalis yung ano na yan, yung kaguluhan na yan, we will move to the third phase, which is ang target niya, as mentioned by the Secretary yesterday during the hearing, middle of the year.
Okay. So pwede pala, middle of the year.
Pwede naman. Alam mo, technology yan.
Yeah.
Pwede naman. No? They just have to, what you call this, tweak their systems para magkaka-ubra.
Okay. Pero nabanggit ni Alex na sa isang kwentuhan namin na yung mga bus, marketing strategy na rin na nilalagay na meron silang RFID para wala nang problema pagdating sa bayaran Alex, ano ba yung experience niyo sa bus operators?
Actually, for the buses, Melo, meron kaming special partnership with both NLEX and SLEX. So yung kasi yung mga bus companies, may corporate account yan So isang account lang sila. Tapos, meron kaming arrangement with NLEX and SLEX na pagka nagkaroon ng pagbabago, dati EasyTag, tapos naging e-tag, naging RFID. Lahat ng mga bus ng probinsya sa terminal namin nilalagay yung ni-install yung sticker. So ang mangyayari diyan, ang pasahero namimili pagka yung bus mo walang RFID o walang EasyTag, hindi sila sumasakay kasi alam nila yon na pagdating sa toll gate, mahaba ang pila. So it's a marketing strategy ng mga bus companies. Naglalagay na nga sila nun ng sticker dun sa windshield ng bus na RFID installed or may e-tag installed para alam ng pasahero na pagka sumakay ako ng bus na to, walang pila. Kaya it's a special arrangement namin with the toll operators, both NLEX and SLEX.
Yeah. Mabuti kung gano'n na narinig kong complaint ito ng mga kaibigan ko mula sa Toyota Motor Philippines. Isang problema nila, may load naman yung kanilang mga gadget, no? Minsan hindi nababasa dun sa toll gate. Nagkakaproblema. I don't know. Bert, paano yun? Anong ginagawa kaya ng gobyerno para maiwasan yung problema pagdating sa toll gate, pagbasa ng mga ID?
Nangyayari yan, Melo. No? In fact, matagal lang nangyayari yan. Then at every time na meron ganyan sitwasyon, of course, TRB calls the attention of the tollway operators to address the matter. And in fact, as a penalty, hindi nila na-address yan. Ang sinasabi namin sa kanila, pagka yung pila ng mga sasakyan, umabot na ng 1 kilometro, boom up na kayo, papasukin nyo na yung mga sasakyan na yan, huwag na kayong mangolekta para umiksi yung pila. Yun ang penalty na ini-impose ng TRB sa mga toll operator. There are a variety of reasons kung bakit hindi umaangat yung boom. No? from insufficient load to may difference yung boom. Perhaps si Junji can explain that further.
Yeah. Junji, bago ako magtungo kay Terry, please go ahead. Paano nangyayari? Bakit ganon?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Alex, no? Unang-una, yung ating naman RFID sensors or scanners, they're up to standard. In other words, they pass all the criteria. But note also that the RFID equipment or system includes a passive sticker installed in the car. Pag sinabi mo nating passive, wala hong baterya yan. It just radio communication basically. It's really not rocket science, Melo. But having said that, we also have to deal with glitches from time to time. That's really a major issue, especially if you upscale your users from 30% to almost 80%. Then obviously, because of the percentage in terms of numbers, then these incidents will obviously happen. What I'm saying is that there is a criteria or a metric by which we use the industry metric. It's called readability rate. The readability rate of the system is 98%. It's comparable to other systems using RFID systems in the expressways. There's nothing wrong with the system itself. The 2% obviously consists of, for example, sticker issues. The sticker is worn out, it's dilapidated, it's degraded, or somehow it's damaged. Then obviously it will cause a glitch in the system and the boom will not rise. But the fact is, the system will recognize that there's something wrong with the sticker, not the scanner. So in that's a direction we have been taking since July, when we sort of ramped up this RFID installation by actually going directly to the customers and motorists who experienced this sticker issue. So meron tayong sticker replacement program, Melo. Since these are already customers, meron tayong SMS. Dinediretso na natin sa kanila to tell them, number one, na yung kanilang sticker kailangan palitan. So either kung fleet account yan, kung let's say it's a delivery company, pupuntahan po ng mga tauhan natin yan to replace the sticker, or sa susunod na pagbalik sa system, because alam naman natin gagamit naman yan ng system one way or the other, doon po natin pinapalitan. We've been successful. In fact, the sticker replacement program has really improved the reading or the sticker issue for quite some time. It's still a work in progress, but those are the adjustments we're doing. Number two, yung load naman natin, as I said, with a growth ratio like that, then marami pa sa mga kababayan natin hindi pa familiar on the loading process. So yung loading channels natin, whether on over the counter, whether online, marami naman po. We have more than enough loading channels. Of course, some of our customers sanay na dyan. So they expect when they load it, for example, sa sa app, they expect that to be there maybe within 24 hours. That typically happens. If you load in the bank, then maybe it's 45 minutes. That typically happens. But note that the systems between the banks and the easy trip systems are still in the growing birth pain stage. On the birth pain stage. So you'll find this delays in the crediting time. On one hand, it's also a system issue, and we are already improving it. We are upgrading the servers, we are upgrading the software to see to it that we achieve almost real-time load crediting. That's one of the priorities today. Second, a communication campaign also to our motorists to anticipate that instead of loading at the last minute, maybe it's better to do your loading as early as possible. You have a variety of customers who already are doing that today, and they are quite happy. Of course, as I said, this interface issues between the banks or the loading channels and the system is a work in progress, and we are doing very good progress here.
Good. Thank you. Terry, with all this, how do you look at it? Anong pwede natin gawin? Tayo, consumer lang tayo eh. Umaasa tayo sa technology nila para hindi tayo magkaproblema. Ano nakikita mo?
Well, una sa lahat, kailangan makita din natin talaga yung actual data, no? Kasi nga, mahirap naman na aasa lang ho tayo dun sa mga anecdotal evidence, Facebook evidence, hindi ba? For example, kung once in 10,000, statistically significant ho yun or statistically insignificant ho yun. Kasi, well, we had received some of the data as to why the booms did not go up, ano? I think a big chunk of it was, I think 40% of it in one station was not because of technical glitches, it was because of insufficient balance. Ano? So, the multi-factors should be seen and kumbaga, we should determine kanino yung accountability dyan po sa usapin po na ito. So, kung insufficient balance po yan, even if you have your RFID, even if the RFID reader gets to read it, hindi po talaga tataas yung boom, hindi po ba? So, I think all of these things ought to be based first on actual data, katulad po ng nangyari. And secondly, in terms of interoperability, syempre, I think that is something that will come to pass soon enough. Ano? But we'd also like to define the customer base that will basically benefit from yung pong interoperability ng mga RFIDs. Para maipakita kung talaga bang kailangan na po ba ito today or it is something that can be placed at the back of the priority. Kasi for example, kung yung interoperability that assumes na talagang from SLEX to NLEX gagamitin mo yan. Yan ang main na customer na makikinabang po dyan eh. Pero kung halimbawa, ang talagang paggamit mo lang mula Quezon City papuntang Bulacan, most of the time, kasama ka ba dun sa main customer base that will benefit from the interoperability? So, I think we'd also like to get the numbers from the TRB and of course from the toll operator. Sino ba yung talaga main customers ng interoperability? Kasi parang interoperability is being placed as one of the conditions dito po sa full implementation ng cashless tolling. Pero I think what is most important is for everyone to get into the system, but most important is for everyone, the public and the toll operators, to be given, like what the president said, to be given sufficient time. First, to install the RFIDs, and secondly, to be able to iterate, ibig sabihin, to do the test runs to improve efficiencies. Yan naman po yung I think most important in this entire program.
Mm-hmm. Mamaya ng konti yung feedback from the audience. May tanong ang kasama natin si Joanne. Joanne, pakibuksan yung video mo. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Video para makita ka namin. Yan.
Yan na po. Nakita niyo na po ako?
Opo.
Ayan na po. Hello po, good morning po. My first question, Attorney Junji Kimbo. Sir, kamustahin lang po namin yung implementation po ng barriers up dyan po sa mga toll plaza sa Valenzuela. And also, sir, magiging permanente na po ba ito?
Oh, thanks for that, Joanne. Yung tinatawag na barriers up arrangement dito po sa Valenzuela is working well. We look at the situation almost every day. Meron tayong joint task force with Mayor Gatchalian's team at we are seeing to it that it's going to succeed. No? Importante po na malaman natin na magiging successful. Sa ngayon, okay naman. Wala po tayong nakikitang mga pila except obviously sa cash lanes. Sa cash lanes, we already know na surge na ito ng Pasko. So we would like this barriers up arrangement to succeed and we will work very hard to see to it that it will succeed. Doon sa second question, open tayo doon sa nabanggit po ni Secretary Tugade kahapon. Pag-aaralan po, sabi ng DOTR. Of course, we have to sit down with the DOTR and kung ano po yung magiging paglatag natin, knowing na yung traffic profile, number one, hindi naman pare-pareho. Number two, yung ating system naman for the entire NLEX doesn't have that kind of congestion that is related to a place like Valenzuela. So we have to look at that very carefully so far the Valenzuela arrangement, I think, is working well. We have to monitor that, and we communicate with Mayor Gatchalian's team almost regularly. We review it. We look for ways to further improve it, and we are going to add more equipment. We are going to, of course, ramp up the enforcement.
Thank you po, Attorney John G. Question ko po is for Sir Alex Yage. Sir, kahapon inilabas na po ng LTFRB yung listahan po ng mga bagong provincial bus routes, yung point-to-point. And na-observe natin, sir, halos kapareho lang din po ulit yung mga lugar po na napayagan. Like for example, area po ng Batangas, tapos po yung sa may Pampanga. Sir, ano po ang nakikita nyong implication po nito? Kasi last time po meron kayong binabanggit sa akin na dahil nga limited yung mga trips ay prone po ito dun sa operations po ng mga kolorong vehicles.
Thank you, Joanne. Yung binuksan na route na bagong-bago yesterday, no, ay 10 routes ito. Karamihan ay galing ng Clark Airport sa Pampanga, at yung 5 ay yung dati ng mga nabuksan ruta dati na galing Batangas at Lipa. And ang na-mention ko kanina na kahapon na napakarami pang probinsya o mga region hanggang ngayon wala pang biyahe. Like buong Region 1, buong Ilocos Region walang biyahe. Buong Cordillera Region kasama na yung Baguio, wala pa rin biyahe. Although merong binuksan na ruta na P2P na papuntang Baguio kahapon. And then buong mga probinsya ng Pangasinan, Bataan, Zambales, Tarlac, Aurora, wala pa ring biyahe papasok ng Manila. Kasama na rito yung buong region ng Region 5, Bicol Region, at saka yung buong probinsya ng Quezon Province. So limited yung mga ruta na binuksan. Ang magiging impact nito sa ating mga pasahero, mga kababayan natin, ay mapipilitan silang gumamit ng mga illegal na paraan, like yung mga kolorum na mga van, kolorum na private vehicles, para makauwi sa kanilang mga probinsya.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex.
May tanong ka pa, Joanne? Later na lang, no? Later. May feedback dito, Alex, sabi, a retired general based in Bicol. Mabuti resource person mo si Alex Yage kasi bakit hindi pinapayagan ng mga bus na magbiyahe papuntang Maynila mula Bicol? Samantalang ang mga vans matagal nang pinapayagan. 3,500 ang Sorsogon, Manila per person. And 1,500 papuntang Pangasinan. Ang sabi na nagtitiket nung tinanong ko, ang latest info, napapayagan ang mga bus, yung mga may CR lang daw. Eh wala namang CR yung vans. Pero yun ang pinapayagan. Alex, tapos mamaya, si Bert, reaction mo muna.
Actually, salamat dun sa retired general. Mabuti nabanggit niya yan kasi binuksan na yung ruta galing sa Region 8, Samar Leyte. Tapos itong mga bus na ito na papuntang Maynila, dumadaan ng kahabaan ng Bicol yan. Dumadaan ng Sorsogon, dumadaan ng Albay, Camarines Sur. Tapos ang samantalang ang mga biyahe galing dito sa buong riyon ng Bicol, walang biyahe sa ngayon. So, ang mangyayari, ang mga taga Bicol, napipilitan tuloy na sumakay ng mga kolor na van.
Aha. Okay. Sana kung narito si Chairman Delgra, matatanong ko lang. Mukhang malakas ang labi ng van kaysa dun sa mga bus. Ano? Bert, ano ba narinig mo?
Hindi naman. As what Alex said, sinasamantala ng mga ilang tao na yun nga, limitado ang biyahe ng mga bus. So, naghaharimunan sila. Yan, yung mga kolorum operation ng vans at mga private vehicles. Lalo na kung magaling ng probinsya, makikita mo pa nga sa Facebook yan na advertise nila yung kanilang ginagawa. Ang tinatapatan naman yan ngayon ng ating yung tinatawag na IAC, yung Interagency Committee on Traffic. Yet that's under DOTR. Kasama nila yung LTO at saka yung operatives ng LTFRB to run after itong mga kolorum operation na yan. May mga nahuhuli pero mas marami pa rin talaga yung nakakaligtas. One thing kasi mahirap mo ma-recognize kung ano yung operation, yung kolorum operation, tsaka yung legitimate, na pamilya yung nakasakay doon sa loob ng van. Mali, tedious ang panahon ko. Nang ako LTFRB chairman, tsaka LTO, nagpapasakay ako ng tao. Tapos pag nagbayad na yon, huli na yon. Ganun ang ginagawa namin ng araw.
Pero ngayon yata intricate na dahil una, hihingi muna ng medical certificate. So pag merong medical certificate at nagpa-reserve ka, kilala na ng super kung sino sasakay.
Yes.
So, kahit na ano sabihin mo, hindi ka naman napasasakayin kung wala kang medical certificate at hindi ka kilala ng super. So, merry-go-round pa rin.
May nakakalusot yan pa isang kung bakit ang mga bus operators nananaghili sila. Yung isang tao pwede sumakay doon sa van, tapos tuloy-tuloy siya, walang checkpoint yun. Makakarating ng Maynila yun. Kasi ngayon, halos lahat ng bayan-bayan, siguro na-experience mo rin yan, meron, pupunta ka ng Albay, na papara ka, papakita ng medical certificate. Pero may mga pagkakataon, yung mga private vehicle, tuloy-tuloy lang yan. Ngayon, yung bus, siyempre malaki yung bus, unang-unang titingnan ng checkpoint, are you observing the social distancing? Dapat kasi, one seat apart. Tapos pangalawa, yung mga pasahero ba, meron silang medical certificate or yung certificate galing doon sa police na pinanggalingan nila na pinapayagan silang mag-travel.
Okay. Terry, how do you feel about things that are happening today? Parang mas maraming problema kaysa solusyon. Mas may kolorum eh. Walang masakyan, pipilit yung tao. You were once a lawmaker. Anong tingin mo?
Well, actually, grave yung concern po dun sa colorums. Kasi syempre, yung pong mga legitimate transport providers, katulad po ng mga bus, sila po yung napagkakaitan ng pagkakataon na makapaghanap buhay, hindi po ba? Sila yung kumuha ng prangkisa, pero hindi ho sila yung kumikita. So, tingin ko, dapat ito pagtulungan ng LTFRB, tsaka po ng, andyan naman ho si Manong Alex, I think he can well represent the interests of specific areas na hanggang sa araw po na ito, wala pa rin. And it is not just because of LTFRB. Malaking bahagi po dyan, syempre meron din hong parang opposition yung local government units doon po sa pagbubukas sa mga public utility vehicles. Pero I think the market situation needs to be pointed out. And yun na nga ho. In rejecting, for example, if LGUs reject yung pong entry of provincial buses sa kanila pong mga localities, yung pong illicit market situation will arise basically. Yan pong kolorum. So, I think that needs to be stated to government and to the public as well na hindi ho totoo na kumbaga we are able to contain the coronavirus transmission simply by limiting the provincial buses to enter localities. Kasi nga, in the alternative, what is being undertaken by illicit actors, yung pong paggamit po nga ng colorum vans or colorum transport. So, ibig sabihin, yung pong policy proposal to reject the entry of legitimate provincial buses or legitimate public vehicles, parang hindi po yan effective. Ano? So, yan po yung dapat pagtulungan ng LTFRB kung ang talagang bara ay doon po sa local government units, dapat yan po yung aktual na sitwasyon na maipahayag sa gobyerno at maipahayag po sa publiko.
Yeah. Kaya ko naitanong to, Terry, ilang beses ko nang tinanong si Secretary Harry Roque. Dahil kahit yung airline industry, yun din ang problema. Pwede silang bumiyahe, pero ayaw naman ng LGU. Kaya kailangan meron ding uniform program o protocol yung national government. However, Secretary Roque said, meron kasing local government code. May authority yung mga LGU to enforce what they want, no? Para mabigyan ng kaukulang proteksyon yung kanilang mga kababayan. Paano kaya yon? Coming from the outside looking in, what could be done?
Pero alam po ninyo, ultimately, hindi naman ho pwedeng. Kasi syempre, minsan meron din ho mga talagang baseless, hindi lang syempre local governments. Minsan, kahit national government, meron yan mga parang knee-jerk reaction to certain situations. Ano? So I think what is most important there is talagang maipakita yung other side of the coin. Ano? So kung tingin ho talaga ng national government medyo sobra, yung pong halimbawa, yung parang being very overly protective but not based on scientific grounds, halimbawa, yung pong isang particular na patakaran, that needs to be subject to a government challenge. Ibig sabihin, that needs to be raised to the level of the president, to be raised to the level of the IATF, na ayun na nga, sige, ganito po, we had rejected public buses to enter localities, no? Pero colorum operations are massively being undertaken. What are we going to do about it? Hindi ba?
Yeah.
So, ayun na, hindi ko pwede sabihin ng gobyerno, national government cannot say na, boss, bahala ng LGUs dyan. Hindi ko ganun yun eh. Hindi ba? So, I think the entire situation needs to be ferreted out ho talaga. Na, akala ko ba, kasi the main concern naman ho talaga why we don't have all of these things is to limit coronavirus transmissions in localities that are rejecting PUVs eh, hindi ba? Pero yun na nga, hindi naman ho ganun eh. We are creating a black market of colorum vehicles, no? So I think that is something that needs to be stamped out and to basically just employ the social distancing protocols, and employ the public health protocols to limit coronavirus transmissions in these localities and syempre from the source localities as well. Ano?
Yeah. Okay. I recall there was this knee-jerk reaction at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Balik probinsya program. Ay di kumalat yung COVID sa probinsya dahil wala naman testing na nangyari bago umalis sa Maynila. Kaya yung ibang LGUs, galit na galit din. Taka muna, wala kaming COVID noon, nagkaroon. Anyway, we will go into that later because I have always believed in the idea that hindsight offers a perfect vision. Okay, we're joined by Channel 5, TV5. Teka, Karen, baka may tanong ka. Karen, where are you? Asan na si Karen? Okay, balikan natin si Karen. Pero ano yung nabalita ko? Sinabi ni Secretary Tugade na may mga tollway employees na nagkasakit ng COVID. How true is this, Junji? Meron ba? Meron kayo na-monitor?
Yeah, meron po. Affected din naman po ang operations natin. Nagkaroon po ng infection, nagkaroon po ng, of course, when there's an infection, there's quarantine. And yung isolation na yun obviously affects our operations. So meron po. We submitted our reports naman regularly to the DOTR and TRB.
And how are they doing?
So far, good. I think overall, we are good insofar as the COVID issue is concerned. Ang major impact kasi nito, Melo, yung sa mga frontliners natin, ano? I mean, frontliners, people who actually collect toll, no? So, alam mo naman, these are mga office mates namin that are shuttled, they are picked up in common areas, and they, share the same workplace, no? Before they're actually deployed sa mga toll gates. So, magkaroon po ng isang infection, obviously will affect the operations. So, I think we had this serious issue nung if I'm not mistaken, August or early September, na talaga naman nagkabuhol-buhol din yung system natin because at the time, talagang kinulangan po tayo ng tao pansamantala.
Okay. May tanong si Karen ng PTV4. Para daw po kay Engineer Bert Swansing, what if may bus operator or jeep na lumabag sa social distancing kasi magkakadikit ang pasahero ngayon? May sanction daw po ba, Engineer?
Meron, may multa yun. Ang minumultahan, of course, yung driver. Ano? Hindi yung pasahero. Kahit na sabihin pa ng driver na nagpumilit yung pasahero na sumakay, isa pa rin ang lalabas na may kasalanan doon. Dahil pinayagan niya.
Okay. Pero paano yun? Yung mga jeep na luma, open air. As against the new jeeps na aircon. Paano kaya? May pag-aaral ba tayo na ginawa kung alin ang mas ligtas doon sa dalawa?
Well, may mga sinasabi na yung air condition na sasakyan, either bus or yung bagong mga modelong public utility vehicles, ano. Yung sinasabi nila yung confined area daw, ano. So umiikot-ikot lang yung hangin sa loob. But that can be corrected naman by simply opening the door, no, or yung bintana bubuksan para lumabas yung hangin na galing sa loob at magpalitan ng bago. And some buses, especially yung newer ones, meron silang tinatawag na HEPA filter na nakakabit doon sa bus. So, na-filter yung hangin sa loob ng sasakyan.
Okay.
Yung sinasabi, yun nga meron sinasabi mas safe daw yung open na mga jeepneys, ano. Open ka nga doon sa mga safe ka nga doon sa COVID. Hindi ka naman safe sa pollution. No? Dahil yung katabi mo sa sasakyan, bumubuga-buga ng usok. So, yun pa rin yun.
Okay. Akala ko sasabihin mo, tetanus ang kalaban doon. Dahil kung pag naunta. Okay, may tanong si Gerard de la Peña. Gerard, good morning and welcome to the discussions. Go ahead with your question.
Yes.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning mga sir. Sorry, I had to step out. Hindi ko alam kung na-discuss na ito. Siguro for Mr. Yage or kay Engineer Swansing, ano pong ine-expect nating surge ng mga passengers ngayong Christmas season? Of course, this is gonna be different from the previous Christmases. Pero ano po yung expectations natin as of now?
Thank you, Gerard, for that question. Actually, before Christmas, ang volume ng pasahero are coming from the provinces. Dito mamamasko yan sa Manila. And then after Christmas, yung mga volume naman pabalik ng probinsya, doon magkakaroon ng reunion sa probinsya. So definitely yung volume this year, malaking diferensya dahil as I mentioned kanina earlier in the program, 50 provincial routes pa lang ang nabubuksan. Out of maybe 1,000 routes, 50 pa lang ang binubuksan ng LTFRB. So definitely ang magiging option ng pasahero diyan, like Congressman Terry mentioned earlier, mapipilitan silang sumakay ng mga kolorum na sasakyan. Pag pupumilit pumunta ng Manila yan o magpupumilit pumunta ng probinsya yung ating mga kababayan dahil Pasko.
Okay. Bert?
Yes. Yung volume, in-expect natin matataas yan. Ano? Pero hindi kagaya ng previous years na talagang malaki. At saka isa pa nga, yung na-mention na limited yung bus service, ano, yung mga papuntang probinsya, o tempered yung movement ng mga tao. Kasama na dyan, of course, yung, siyempre, marami pa rin natatakot na lumabas o pumunta ng probinsya dahil magkakahawa-hawaan. Makukontain naman ng present transportation facility.
Okay. All right.
Follow up lang po Sir Alex kasi nabanggit sorry Sir Melo, pa-follow up lang po.
Okay.
Sir Alex, napansin niyo po paluwas yung mga tao, hindi pa uwi ng province. Bakit kaya may ganitong pattern ngayon or behavior among the the commuters?
Actually, Gerard, yun talaga ang pattern every year. Bago magpasko, ang volume ay galing probinsya papunta ng Manila. Dito namamasko yung ating mga kababayan. Pagkatapos, after Pasko, uuwi naman yan sa probinsya, doon mag-New Year sa probinsya. Ayun ang pattern for all the years na nakita ko sa takbo ng passenger volume natin.
Sa tingin nyo ba, Alex, mababago pa itong system na ito na yung mga nasa Maynila ang uuwi sa probinsya? Sa halip na yung galing probinsya ang lumuwas?
Actually, buti na-mention mo yan, Melo. Very limited kasi ang trabaho pa rin sa probinsya, lalo na ngayon dahil because of the pandemic, no? At yung 80 to 90% pa rin ng trabaho ay nandito sa loob ng nasa loob ng Maynila at mga urban centers natin. So ang mangyayari niyan ay over the next few years, ang volume pa rin ng tao ay manggagaling sa probinsya papasok ng mga urban centers katulad ng Manila, Cebu at Davao. So ganun pa rin magiging trend ng takbo ng mga pasahero natin.
All right. So at least alam natin kung ano sistema. Baka may tanong pa si Karen. Karen, alam ko bumalik ka na. Go ahead with your question and your concerns. Karen?
Yes po. Sir, sorry, hindi ko alam kung
Yes, go ahead. Well, it's the internet again. One more time. Yes, go ahead. Uy, sayang. Pabalikan natin. Pabalikan natin si Karen, no? Oh, yan. Pwede na, pwede na. Go, go, go.
tanong na din
Teka muna. Medyo choppy ang dating. Hindi uubra. Alanganin. Hanap tayo ng mas magandang lugar, Karen. No? Ilang tao ang nakadeploy sa tollways ninyo, Junji? Ngayong magpapasko?
Depende naman. We have a 24-hour manning schedule, Melo, no? And as I said, itong Pasko naman is a normal surge situation that we deal with every year. So hindi naman ito bago sa amin na magpapasko, and as Alex had said, the traffic volume compared to last year, hindi po ito umaabot pa doon sa same numbers. So ang preparations naman natin every Christmas is more than enough to anticipate a traffic surge the entire system. This is obviously from Manila all the way to Tarlac and all the way to Subic, no? So ang preparations natin on a 24-hour basis takes into account the rush hour also during Christmas. Sa Christmas season, meron din ups and downs ang biyahe ng mga motorista natin at nakaabang po tayong lahat doon. This year will be no different. Even with an RFID system in place, we will have enough support people on the ground, traffic management, mga patrol, incident response, yung mga medical people natin na mga for medical emergencies. Lahat po ito nakahanda po ito at nakaantabay po ito for especially itong surge this Christmas season.
Yeah. I do recall traveling on Monday, Thursday, years and years ago. We left Mandaluyong at 7 o'clock in the morning. Nakarating kami ng Lucena at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yung lahat ng sidewalk vendor na nagtitinda ng mga mais, whatever, nabili na namin lahat. Hindi pa kami nakakarating. Talaga ka naman. Pero at least with technology these days, baka sakali, talagang tollways na ang daan. Okay. Terry, before we close, ano nakikita mo? Anong pwedeng maging homework ng pamahalaan at ng pribadong sektor para gumaan ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan?
Sorry, Mano, can you repeat the first part of the question? Nag-throttle lang.
Okay. Anong nakikita mong kailangan gawin ng pamahalaan at ng pribadong sektor upang gumaan ang buhay ng mga mamamayan? What should they do? In the first place, yung bang build mantra ng gobyerno, tumatalab ba yan? O talagang yun lang yung centerpiece ng gobyerno? How do you look at all these things?
Well, we really have to undertake all the major infra within the remaining years of the president. Yung pong marami ko talaga sa totoo lang, and to be frank to everyone, the coronavirus crisis has really delayed so many things. It has stunted the growth of the economy. It has delayed many of the major infrastructure projects that we have today. So, kumbaga, that is a major point that needs to be stated. And it cannot be blamed on the president alone. But be that as it may, I think what is most important is for all the projects to get into the notice to proceed stage para po yung even beyond the term of the president, magtuloy-tuloy na po ito. So I think marami pa rin within the 100 flagship projects na nasa drawing board pa rin, meron pa rin ang inabot pa lang nila mga memoranda of understanding. Ang kailangan umabot na sa memorandum of agreement para maikasa yung pong mga proyektong ito beyond the term of the president. Kasi sa totoo lang, by next year, by June 2020, po ninyo, pagka nagkatapatan sa aristocrat po tayo, totohanan na, baka mga presidentiables na ang mga iniimbitaho natin. So, yung pong mga proyekto na nakaantabay rito, baka hindi na yan ang pinag-uusapan po ng bayan around June or July. That, yung presidential campaign na talaga yung pinagkakaabalahan. Kaya nga, in the next 6 months, sana mahabol po natin. And I think we have received the report na outside of infrastructure for roads, isa dun sa mga hinahabol din natin, yung pong major infra for flood control. So very eye-opening yung po nga nangyari sa Typhoon Ulysses for Cagayan and Marikina. So ilan po yung mga yan doon po sa mga proyekto na ihahabol na pang-infrastruktura na ihahabol po within the term of the president. So yun na nga, dapat magtuloy-tuloy lang magtulungan tayo. Yung pong mga tingin natin, baka hindi naman ako kailangan na hindi pagkakaunawaan dito po sa ilang mausapin dito. Dapat pagtulungan na lang po natin sa mga susunod pong mga linggo at saka sa mga susunod pong mga buwan.
Okay. Thank you. Maganda yung binanggit mo sapagkat hindi lang yung karsada o yung tulay ang bigyan ng pansin. Siguro the government should also seriously consider building health facilities because whether we like it or not, itong COVID-19 brought out in the open that we spent so little for health infrastructure. Siguro dapat makonsider din yon. Pero kung hindi, may problema tayo dyan. All right. Alex, from your end, yes, please.
Well, actually, I'm glad na mention natin yung limited na biyahe sa mga probinsya. So we are hoping na with the help ng media like you, Melo, we can follow up yung mga local government units. Ang requirement kasi na LTFRB is magkakaroon ng endorsement ang mga local government units that they will allow provincial buses to enter their respective areas before they allow the opening of more routes. So to your program, we are requesting the LTFRB to open more routes, and of course for them to open it, we are requesting the local government units to submit yung mga endorse nila and resolution to the LTFRB to open the LGUs para sa provincial buses para ma-minimize natin o ma-zero out natin yung mga colorum operations.
Okay. Junji, from your end, please.
Yes. Yes, from my end, we are obviously in a solutions mode, no? And itong issues natin on traffic is an indication that yung mga motorista natin hindi naman talaga uh, papansinin kung are they in the expressway, are they in the local road. They don't really have to worry about it. Ang hangad naman po natin talagang seamless din yung connection ng national roads at saka yung expressways natin. So ito pong juncture na meron tayong solutions offered, for example, in Valenzuela City, takes into account na napapakinggan naman natin yung mga hinaing din ng mga taga Valenzuela who were obviously made to suffer during the first few days of the implementation ng cashless, contactless program. We're on the way to developing a solution. We want the solutions to succeed. Hopefully naman itong ating arrangements in Valenzuela will work, and we will see to it that it will work.
Mhm. Are there specific programs in the pipeline that the general public would expect from your company?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Melo. No? Tuloy-tuloy lang yung pag-improve natin ng systems natin. One factor na na-point out po doon sa dialogue, and even yesterday, ito pong delayed crediting or people expect real time, no? So we are putting a priority na yung ating internal system, yung ating pong backroom operations, magkaroon pa ng upgrades in the software and in the versions. So we are scheduling by end of January, we will have less and less of these delayed loads issues, no? Gusto natin pag nag-load sila sa telepono, nandun na kaagad sa account nila, so that pagdaan po sa barrier or doon sa mga toll gates natin, wala hong problema. It will take a little bit of time. We ask for more patience, pero we are in the right direction. Doon po sa mga scanners natin, tuloy-tuloy po ang pag-audit natin ng performance. We have technical experts. They already started their work a week ago. And whatever recommendations of the technical audit, we will of course implement it. We know it can only improve the system. So we will see to it that the customer experience will be better.
Good. Bert, mula sa DOTR at sa TRB, I hope the guys at TRB will still keep their jobs.
Well, ang masasabi ko sa TRB, no? TRB. Masasabi ko diyan, ginagampanan naman ng TRB ang kanilang tutungkulan, no? Na pagsusupervise ng ating mga tollways in spite of the odds, ano? One odd is, alam mo, yung TRB ang sinusupervise yung tollways ngayon, no? 10 na yan. 10 yung tollways na yan. At ang tao namin 34 lang. Kasama na pati yung mga job orders, ano, na gumaganap ng mga trabaho na dapat ng mga regular workers. Hindi kami umaangal doon. At yun nga, inadmit nga ng executive director at ng, of course, pati na rin nga si Secretary Tugade, yung mga pagkukulang. At yung mga pagkukulang naman na yan ay ina-address ng ating pamahalaan. Particularly itong mga ahensya na involved dito sa tollway. Makakaasa ang publiko na tatrabahoin yan ng mga tao na inatasan. Trabahoin ng pagkaroon ng efficient na traffic management sa labas at loob ng tollway, ma-address yung mga problema like for example yung tungkol sa load, kung hindi kagad umaakyat yung boom, lalo na yung condition ng ating tollways. Mahigpit natin pinatutupad yan na dapat sumunod sila, no? Na like for example, yung roughness index ng kalsada sa loob ng tollway should not exceed 3. Ibig sabihin na para kang tumatakbo sa lamin, no? Na hindi maramdaman yung mga lubak. At yung mga lubak na yun, dapat na-address kagad. Kasi nga, umabayad yung tao.
Yeah.
So yun lang.
All right. You know, nung araw, nung unang ginagawa yung South Luzon Expressway, ang nakalagay dyan nung araw this is where your taxes are being spent. Hindi nagtagal, naging tollway na dahilan sa kailangang ma-maintain. So, there is no free lunch. Yan ang isang maliwanag. Pero it's good that Secretary Tugade and the bureaucracy, siguro they recalled dahil medyo may edad na rin si Secretary Art Tugade. Si Alex will also know this. Ako kasi sa Krista nung araw, pagdating dun sa simula ng misa, meron mea culpa, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Through my fault, through my most grievous fault. Yun ang sabi nun. So at least alam natin kung anong problema. Pero on an Asian thought, sabi ni Confucius, worries will soon appear if one gives no thought to a long-term plan. So let's end our special edition ng ating tapatan sa Aristocrat with that. Kung wala tayong long-term plan, lalabas at lalabas ang problema. Thank you very much and please stay healthy. At para kay Congressman Terry, I hope to see you physically next year sa tapatan sa Aristocrat. Alex, ganun din kay Junji at kay Bert at sa mga kasama natin reporters. Have a nice day. Keep safe. Merry Christmas. No matter how painful it is, it's still Christmas. Thank you.